Hello, welcome to my show. This is Patrick. I'm going to put this short video up today, and I'm going to put up some other videos, hopefully. I did it 2 weeks ago, and they're just sitting on my hard drive. I can't get it up. I went for like an hour, 10 minutes on a video, so I'll chop it up and I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that okay? And I'll try to put some information down, what it's about. Um, we are pretty much being overwhelmed right now. The opposition to uh, light, to light, the Christ light, the heavenly light, the Christ consciousness, which is a total expansion of our understanding of how the universe is. This has been kept from us for thousands of years, and it's going to prevail. And right now, you're looking at the streets of America and the world, and it's all artificially choreographed by evil, all right? By evil people, Satanists, Luciferians, people who do really bad things to children, like kill them. And I think there's an aspect of America, people don't even know this is going on. And if the military has like this video that we keep hearing about, and I doubt they do have it, they're going to play it, and if they have like the evidence for 9/11, it's going to shut this country down. Do they have videos of Hillary Clinton disemboweling a young live child? Yeah, they probably do. If they have all this, hundreds of those kind of tapes and audios, how the Capitol Hill riot was actually choreographed by CNN and the Luciferians. They did this. They did it. It's on their watch. If they do this, the left is gone, just like in 2 seconds. And hopefully, then they bring back Trump. Is that it? I don't know. I suspect that. This is something that's been going on. By dowsing independently, I came up with this, saying it's going to happen somewhat like this. When they're going to pull the trigger, I don't know. But things are getting really dicey. I feel for the people. The poor people are stuck in these neighborhoods where the left has taken charge. Now, just remember, I think I have to admit, I was watching a video, and they kind of remind me what's behind the defund the police. Now, traditionally, I thought, like last year, if you told me defund the police, I thought they just wanted to replace them with social workers, ideologues, card-carrying members of the political party, and enforcing their will, like no guns in your house, no religious studies whatsoever, no connecting with God, because the whole thing is to detach you from God, no matter what religion you are in the world. Detach you from God, detach you from yourself. Even people who meditate, they're detaching you from your inner self and your higher self. And they do that by your iPhone. Here's my iPhone. I'm gonna get stronger protection. I found out another protection. I think I might buy it. It's kind of expensive, but it's if you don't take that protection from your electronics, that's interfering with your mental body. All right, your mental and your emotional, and you have to take charge of your environment. And I'm going to get some. It's kind of funny. I told you about the exorcist who has a PhD, or he's a doctor of psychology, or he might even be a psychiatrist, and he's talking about who's mentally ill versus who's possessed. And sometimes you're really parsing, but he makes a distinction, and he goes, he got the training to be able to do this, because everybody who's mentally ill may not be possessed, but they need spiritual healing. Mentally ill needs spiritual healing. And maybe exorcism might not be the right tool, but a lot of the toolboxes are what the exorcist pulls out, which was the Saint Benedict cross. And my dowsing said I probably should get one and put it in my room or something, because we're all being attacked. And I just want you to know that. We're all being psychically attacked. And I know some people really being attacked. And it has to do with who you are as a soul. You incarnate, you're not quite who you think you are. Some of you are not even humans. You know, some people are actually not humans. They're different things. And so you just got to have to get a charge of your environment. And don't forget the St. Benedict medals. And mine were like, they shipped them, I don't know, they never showed up. But you put them in the corner of your house. You know, do what it takes to try to get control of your house. The other thing, now I'm doing a lot of ancient Catholic stuff. And I know Protestants have issues with a lot of this stuff. And guess what? The Protestant stuff works too. I mean, they have, you know, I saw a guy hawking scarves with Psalms 91. Well, you put the scarf on, 91, it'll protect you. It'll protect your speech. You know, all these religions know this. You're going to have to glean through it for yourself, all right? I'm just happen to listen to some of his things. I'm going to add it to my smorgasbord of stuff to protect my house, protect my property, to protect my dog. He's been attacked. You know, he's a target. I'm a target. I don't know why. I don't know these people. And they're all millionaires. I could show you my wallet. It's empty right now. Don't send anything. I never ask. I never ask for money. But because I believe money kind of murkies the water a little bit. It's kind of like, yeah, the shaman, the priest, they all need a little money. But it makes it murky a little. God is going to give me money in different ways. You know, it kind of shows up. We'll see what happens. What else is happening? I've seen people that are come into my life, and I told you in the last video that the veil is getting thinner. It's getting thinner. You're starting to get little visions when you're walking around. Don't worry if you don't. It doesn't really mean a lot. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean you're not a spiritual person or anything. What else? I had a mountain lion poop at my front gate. Now I have a gate on my driveway, and it pooped right in the middle of the dirt road in the front to the gate. That's pretty cool. So I have to think about that, what it means. I think it's new. The lioness. Now the lion, for most of the Christians, like what's that name? C.S. Lewis? Not C.S. Lewis. The other guy. Was it C.S. Narnia? Is that C.S. Lewis? Tolkien? No, it's C.S. Lewis. I read, C.S. Lewis is very interesting. He's very, he had other books like, I read them when I was in high school, Palandra, Out on a Silent Planet, and he wrote some science fiction to talk about Christ, consciousness. And in particular, he did a biblical. He's going, you know, the Bible, while I'm taking a bigger, expansive view, is that historical Christianity threw 90% of Christianity out. And we're going to get that as we bring in all this energy. We're going to understand it. And you know, you got to realize Christ was very conscious and knowledgeable and educated in all these religions. They're really close to Israel. If you look, you know, they're all there. And plus other religions, Zoroastrianism. Most of you never heard of it. He knew about Baal. You know, Baal worshippers. Take a hike. They're still here. They're still mucking up everything. So we got to get rid of them. What's the other one? Oh, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism. I mean, they're all close to Israel. You look, it wasn't a big deal to learn this. He was financed, and he went to the pyramids. It must be right in his consciousness, the whole pyramid. He knows who built it. He's really educated. And he brought all that into his version of Christianity. He brought the Christ consciousness down. And so what they did, since he died, they just kept peeling it off. They've just been cutting it away at all his teachings. But it's there. The Vatican has it. Hopefully we'll find out more, but I think it's all going to come back. More avatars are coming, and they're good, because we're at a point where the evolution is going to be a quantum jump for the bulk of people. And if they can't handle it, like I said before, they'll just fade away. It's okay. There's another side. there's teachings on the other side. We can speed it up so their next incarnations can handle the information, all right? Because more is going to be expected of you to do that. Well, anyway, C.S. Lewis, I was going to go back. I digress. The lion is Christ. And you can just say Christ consciousness. His subconscious wrote this book, even though he's thinking, oh, Nardia, the lion is Christ. It's more. It's Christ consciousness. And his subconscious put that in there. And anyway, I have the poop down at my front door. You know, how many people have a mountain lion pooping on your front gate there, you know? And I went and examined it, you know. Neighbors think you're weird or something. But I always examine the scat, trying to find out if it's bear. The bear has more berries. That's how I do it. Sometimes I can't tell bear, because it comes out. The season determines the texture of the poop. But this tells you. I'm sorry, but that's how you do it. And the animals. I had a what do you call it? A bobcat. I have a picnic table on a hill, and it goes. It's awesome. It's an awesome picnic table, and what I was going to say. Oh, a bobcat went and pooped on the picnic table. Those are great signs. Those are signs. Those are great signs for you. And again, the cat, a level of consciousness, you know, and it's territory. They're marking their territory. You know, they all do that. Coyotes and stuff. You're walking around in the, you know, they poop right in the middle of the road on your pathway on a rock. You know, and they get a rock and they poop. They go, I'm here. But for us, those are important interpretations to consider in our life. What's coming in our life. So it's more is coming, and the Christ energy, the white energy, the life energy, the life force is protecting the house, and it is. We've had a lot of weird stuff happen around here over the last 2 years, and it's coming to an end. And it's just like, you know, the house, Max, we're all protected by something else. Something bigger than us has protected us. I mean, I can't do anything. If somebody wants to come in, you know, and I'm not going to say anything. But I've had issues for the last few years here because, just because. And I sort of know. I sort of figured out things. I'm missing things. And I know we're about to go through big changes. And it's for the whole country. So in my microcosm, you know, it's a window onto the macrocosm. And I think race relations are at the worst they've ever been because CNN, MSNBC, all the political figures are fanning it. They're just getting out there and you say, let's have race riots. Let's have a race war. That's what they're saying. These people are going down. But it's going to take some time to recover. People subconsciously are in a fear. They have fear. So when a black man sees a white man somewhere at the shopping mall, it's like two sides of a magnet. They'll kind of repel and go away. They don't even know why they're doing it. But your subconscious is doing things for you, and it's because that fear has been embedded into you. They planted it. You know, the Don Lemons and the all of them. I don't even know these guys. You know, every time you turn them on for 5 seconds, you're going, good God. But they're going to pay, and it's not our job. You know, there's a cosmic payment coming due. They made their choice to be a Luciferian early because a lot of them wanted success. A lot of them wanted fame. They made that choice. My friend, he was a shaman. I have him on the internet. I should put up his picture sometime. I didn't agree with him a lot of things, but he was well known in certain circles, and he was a Goldman Sachs employee. Flew out, and they would put 2 envelopes in front of him, which is a better investment, and he would just feel them both and goes, this one. He was always right. I mean, that's who he was. And he said, I forget my train of thought. He knew Nancy Pelosi in San Francisco, and he knew Feinstein, and he knew some of them, but that was it. That was like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, early 1992, something. And I knew him later. He passed away a few years ago, and we talked about race quite a bit. And I put up videos for him. I never put up any videos on those discussions, on that. I put it on the ETs and things like that, but not on race. Race is complicated. And it has to do with the, you know, he found out when he passed away, and they had to do find out who was paying the medical bill, you know, that sort of thing. And they did research, and anyway, found out who his father was. And why that's important is because, and he was from the 60s, let's say, he grew up then. And the white family, the black family, the Native American family, you go back to 1965, and it was robust, healthy, really filled with life, extended. You know, the family was important. When you measure dowsing the life force of those families back in mid-1960s, they're all like fives. The country was a five. That's where the life force is. That's where love is. That's where unconditional, because for family members, we are unconditional. That's where we practice those principles of compassion and mercy. And well, we do it within the family. And it was strong and robust then. And all those races, their life force, which I'm measuring with dowsing, was high. High as you probably get for 3D. You remember? Interpersonal. With humans, interpersonal. You're at your best in your family and your worst. Right now, today, those three groups, they're all zero. Zero. There is no life force. They succeeded in breaking up the family. They got rid of the man. There's no yin and yang. There's no Mary. What do you think Mary was? Why did the Catholic Church bring Mary? Because you just got the yang. You don't have the yin. You know what I mean? You need the balance. You need male and female. And that's what we're talking about here. And if, mostly to the networks and the internet and the political structure is all anti-family, because the super state, and this is both Marxism and Nazism. You owe your allegiance to the state over the family. And they're starting to take the kids away from the family because we don't like you studying something, you know. They don't like you studying and being in connection with God yourself. Each individual deserves that birthright to be in connection. And that's what they're cutting. That's what all these laws are. It's ultimately to cut God away from it, and Lucifer runs the whole show. Which is like, you know, Mad Max or Blade Runner. You know, you get these worlds where the super state runs your family. And actually, I don't think that would be permitted to happen longer than a little bit, you know. And I think we're experiencing it now. The state is run amok. I said something about this police officer trial. I don't know if I put it up, but I said ultimately he wouldn't get convicted of everything, but he got convicted of everything. And they go, blows your mind. And I think it's just a movie. It's just a show. And that there was a deal cut behind the scenes, and they may retry him later and lower. I mean, it's obviously not a premeditated murder, but they don't care. It's like, let's make it premeditated. It shows you the political power. Then you're going, oh, they didn't riot. You see all these rationale. It's like, I don't know what happened. How, you know, it's just a political trial. Just know that. The whole trial is to control the people. It has nothing to do with guilt. And I know what they want to expand it and things like that. But anyway, one of the things, I'm getting back to a point earlier. One of the things that they want to do, and I'm not the only one who saw this. This was actually, I saw a clip of Tucker Carlson, and I would say in the last 6 months I've seen him 3 times do a little segment, and he has good writers. He's really succinct, and but I don't quite trust him. He sort of goes back and forth, but he brought up a point with, I think he had a guest on, I'm not sure. The whole point of defunding, one of the defunding the police is you're going to bring social workers over with clipboards, and they're going to say, "What are you doing in your house?" You know. So if there's a fight, somebody come over with a clipboard and say, "Well, maybe we can ameliorate." Well, you're bringing a social worker to a gunfight sometimes. You know, what do you do? Second, somebody brought this up. It's real clever, and I go, it's long ranger. What do you want to do when you defund the police? It is to bring in the national police force. And this is, to some extent, they have this in Australia and England. But you have a national police force, and you kind of rotate these people around, and they're not part of the community. And local police, especially in smaller communities, are part of the community. You know, so the police aren't beating up on everyone. That's how it kind of works, and it works better. People think the national police, they're detached. This is going to be a political, ideological tool to stomp the people into submission, especially into pro-gun places. Pro-gun doesn't mean you even own a gun. You just want your neighbor to own a gun, which is a big trust. I trust you to have a gun. It has, like, as a community, we have this trust going. But if you get rid of the local police and you make a national police, which is the Gestapo and the SS, and they're different. They're actually very, very different. And there's secrets there we can't talk about today. And the secrets of World War II will come out eventually. World War I, it's like, why was there a war? You read a book, you see documentaries, and you still say, why was there a war? It was designer war. It was choreographed. They wanted this war for why? Who's they? I get that. And I can't go there. You can't. But that war was fake. There was no purpose to it. You know? And eventually, what did it lead to? It led to the Soviet Union. That's what it led to. And it killed so many people if you just go beyond that, how many people were killed. And so the people have never been in charge of their own governments. And there's also karma going on, which complicates these issues. I think it's all going to be revealed. I mean, these are secrets of the ether, some of them, and they need to be revealed. And I think that's part of what the avatars in a few years will show up. And I think Christ will be one of them. I always douse, like, springtime of, what are we, 2021, 22, 23, 24. Maybe spring of 24, 25. Maybe he's here right now, a conscious of Christ, who's Enoch, the same entity. He's probably Adam, Enoch, perhaps David. You know, it's the same spirit, and it's going to come back, and it's going to be knocking a few tables over in the synagogue of the money changers. Is just the beginning. I mean, our whole attitude towards money and how we think about it, so it doesn't run us. And that's always a big thing I get in the dowsing. I have to separate that greed from the quality of the food, of the dog food, let's say, or the cat food, or whatever. Because it does lower the overall score of that can of dog food, let's say. All right? And you go, well, how is that energy affecting the dog food? It's just energy over here. Their thoughts are in that dog food, and you're going to consume it. That's why they put black magic on dog food and consumer products. So you say your prayer, you get rid of it. You do have that power. You do have, at least at a minimum, to get rid of the black magic or the sorcery. Let's call it sorcery. And they do it because they put it in the design of the label. Simple things. Put it in the design of the label. It's in the design. They mass produce it. Boom. It really works. And that's how they control us to some extent. You go back to what your parents did. They prayed over their food. You can pray over your grocery items when you come back from the supermarket. Okay? So I got I just wanted to say that, and I think we're in a very uh, fear-driven time. And if Trump were to take over soon, I'm not even sure how much he knows. That sort of thing. Things may unravel very quickly in our culture. Just I told you about my friend who had the boat being explosion and flips it over, and we could be something big is coming, something big, and we're going to change a lot. A lot of this is going to take a while. I mean, so you change the president of the United States. How is that going to change television? Well, you take your license away. You prosecute these people because it's really sedition what they're doing. And sedition is overthrowing the Constitution. And that's also, I believe, the constitutional definition of treason is overthrowing the Constitution, right? So treason is acting it out, and sedition is more inciting people to overthrow the Constitution. So they're attacking all the people who wrote the Constitution. Well, these guys were, by our standards, were much more aware of cosmic principles, spiritual principles. They knew about this, and George Washington was a Mason. Well, the Masons were okay back then. They were actually looking for the brotherhood of man. It has changed from now to it's zero. Masonry is zero. And Lucifer has taken over. That's pretty much how they do it. So something that was actually made for the principles of Plato and Socrates and Christ, you bring all those forces together. They were educated. They did yearn. They measured each other in esteem. Esteem was your medal. That was it. Esteem. The community gave you because you were acknowledged to be a fair person, not somebody who gives out fake money to fake charities. That's what they're doing now. So they got these fake charities like Save the Planet or Greenpeace. Greenpeace is just all BS. They don't do anything. They just take your money and they get at crazy people and they do crazy stuff. And PETA, the Prevention of Ethical, what is that? Treatment of Animals. They throw blood on people, like buckets of it, and they traumatize people. Well, that's not the way of life. Like, that's not how you do it. And it's because they have a different goal. So PETA doesn't care about the animals. They care about power being asserted onto you. And I didn't want to go down that route, but we have all these charities now that they're not here. They're here to assert power over you. They're here to take away the Bill of Rights. That's their goal, to destroy the Constitution and bring about this Marxist state, which we're halfway there. So we're getting pretty close to this Marxist state. And then I'm gonna contradict myself, and I'll finish this right now. And the contradiction is, I ask God, I ask my higher self, I go, what is this? Is this Marxism, this Democratic Party thing, but it's the Republicans too. I mean, it's George Bush, president. They're all part of this cabal of Luciferian power. And you go, is this Marxism or is this Nazism? Or is it a truly honest people? And no, they're not truly honest. They are dark. They are occupied. They are occupied by demons. And the planet is changing, so this demonic force is going to get lighter and lighter. And this is the last desperate attempt to gather up all the souls they can. And no, it told me Nazism. It's like 80% Nazism. And these are the same energy that were in Germany. Just came over to the States. They came economy class and they set up shop. And they were here already, but they got a lot more energy from the war. World War II really brought this Nazi culture in. And there's people already written books pretty much like that. What was this energy? And how has it taken over the United States? And this is their goal. And there are other ones who want to take over the United States. So the United States, since August, I have doubts. We've been in pretty much a civil war, a hot civil war. People are dying. And it was always pretty close the last few years. The needle's getting closer and closer. And roughly in August, it went hot. And this election is not over. So that thing I said about the election is still on the table. Maybe I didn't quite explain it. I found it hard to believe that we had a delayed election. Remember that? Or a canceled election. And it kind of going, well, it kind of looks that way. Or we're going to have a decrease in the illegal aliens. So the Luciferians are trying to flood the country with illegals to overwhelm the system, to demoralize everyone. Don't get demoralized. So what? There's people coming over. I get 85% of them are going to go back. For the last 10 years, 85 to 90% are going back. It's going to happen. And it could, for a lot of different reasons. It could be volcanoes and earthquakes go off, and we don't have the money and the resources to feed these people. We don't have the manufacturing jobs. Corporate America is going to have to be dealt with. They have become the enemy camp in this woke capitalism. And I was going to put a version of that in the book, but now the events are passing, and I have to readjust this. But the wokeness, political correctness, the whole thing, genderism, and you go around telling everybody they're racist and things like that. That is taught in the business schools, and it's kind of woven into marketing class, management class, accounting. I don't know. You're going to have I don't know how you do it in accounting. You put it. Oh, here's our woke expenses, woke expenses, which are probably losses because people are boycotting you. So these companies might have to be destroyed. And the CEO and the what do you call that? The board of directors have to be put in jail. I told you, I did it a couple months ago. Starbucks, the board of directors has a quarter of a star. Think about that, a quarter of a star. That's like 100 possessed, and they're the ones who are putting sorcery on their product. Now, the content, when I measure the content all by itself, without sorcery, without chemicals or anything, it's a decent coffee. It's a very nice coffee. It's pretty high. But they're doing all this black magic on us, And, I haven't, once I did douse that, I don't drink Starbucks. Die. Go away. I don't support you. So I tried Pete's. And Folgers, I'm getting tired of Folgers, but gosh, that price is getting high. Anyway, Pete's wasn't bad. I doused it was okay. I'll monitor it more. It's just to be sure, you just have a prayer that works for you, and you can do it quick. Do it quick. Bring in something that works. So find a prayer that works for you. I have given you several examples, and some of them are shorter, some of them are longer, and you do raise the vibration, or the life force, the life, L-I-F-E, life force. It's a life force. It reinforces the soul. That's what it does. I can go on for another couple hours if you have time, but I just wanted to say that because we're at this vortex of change, and it's going to get rough. And people are going to get hurt, and the structural things will change. And to take down these Luciferian businesses, now they take over these businesses, but they have to be defeated. They have to be defeated. Either you extract it, or you use metaphysical prayers. You do prayers and stuff and change it. You change the board of directors. You change the senior management, and hopefully it trickles down, and you start making, computer products that don't attack the user. Don't send all this energy. right now I have all this energy coming from, this is a 10-year-old Apple, and I have my organ. This works. This dissipates the energy to some extent. I also feel, though it makes me sleepy, if I do this for like an hour, my eyelids get heavy. And it's just so much radiation and elf waves and all those other things. They have programming, subliminals. Remember that one subliminal I had 20 years ago?